Yes! After all the time of having played a scoreless 60 minutes of hockey, the Leafs finally get this win. Finally win against the Montreal Canadiens as the Leafs not only clinch home ice advantage, they win 1-0 in overtime over the Montreal Canadiens. You didn't say, yeah, you heard me say that. It was 1-0 in overtime when the Leafs scored that goal. And I said Leafs when the Leafs played against the Montreal Canadiens back in October, the Leafs got shut out by the Montreal Canadiens 1-0 because Cole Caulfield scored the one goal. That was pretty much it. And I said that was undeserved. That like the Leafs didn't deserve to get shut out by the Habs. And I know people are going to come at me and say that deserves got nothing to do with it. To me, in my face, I'm going to say it over and over again that deserves got to do with something. Do not tell me deserves got nothing to do with it, because at the end of the day, it deserves got to do with something. And Leafs getting shut out by the Canadiens was literally not deserved in October, but that was only in game one. Now coming into game number 79, you're playing against the Montreal Canadiens. They came off of a back-to-back loss. They came off that one loss in Ottawa where the Habs just got brutally destroyed. Well, technically they were down 4-2 for the count, but they lost 5-2 to the Senators. And God damn the Sens, man. Damn the Sens, boy. And now coming here to Toronto, and when the Habs come into Toronto, excuse me, you're playing against the Habs, who's desperate to win a playoffs, to get into the playoffs, try to clinch a playoff spot tonight. And tonight was a golden opportunity, because for Montreal, they were supposed to clinch a playoff spot if the Leafs lose in regulation to the Canadiens. But it didn't look like it out there, because it was just a bit of back and forth. Oh my God. You got a young goaltender for the Canadiens, and you got Stoley, the goalie, for the Leafs. Let's get the show on the road. Yeah, it didn't look like it, because everything went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. First period, nothing happens. Only problem was, Philippe Myers gets called for, I think it was like a penalty. And of course, we had to kill off the penalty. Like, we're 4 D-man short. Like, you saw what happened. We're down 4 D-men. Let's put much more on D. It did work out. And nothing converted on Montreal. I mean, yeah, okay. It was literally in the first period, dang it. And literally nothing happened in the first 20 minutes. No score. Only thing is, Montreal, of course, their goaltender was dialed in. It was like, their young goaltender was dialed in. No questions asked. It was like Dubois. Some Dubas guy. Not Dubas. Dubois, or whatever his name is. Second period, same thing again. Leafs had their scoring chances. Yeah, sure, they had the power play, but that was not. They had the power play, but just couldn't convert off of it. And what's more infuriating, and what's even sensitive about is that John Tavares gets absolutely knocked to the fit and gets knocked down by, I think it was like Cooley, I believe, and then of course both Max Domi and Gallinger go fighting head to head, and Max Domi gets called for fighting, but he also gets called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? There literally wasn't a misconduct on Max Domi. He was just fighting. And you want to call that misconduct? Back to the inconsistent ways for this team, for the referees. Jesus Christ! Make your mind up! Sure, and Montreal didn't score on the power play, thank God, because Anthony Stolarz was dialed in big time. Like, big time. It was like, oh, man, not going to let them score. And thank God for that. Yeah, and even the Leafs tried to score, but it couldn't convert. And after 40 minutes, no score. Oh, my God. 40 minutes without a goal. Are you kidding me? 40 minutes without a goal. I mean, I'm waiting. But come on now, I'm waiting. It's been 40 minutes. Not a single goal has been scored after 40. Not even one. Even the Leafs had a power play chance, even the 5-on-3 power play, but they couldn't convert on it. I mean, Nick Robertson, he had a chance to make it a 1-0 lead, but the young goaltender just says, yeet, not gonna let that happen. And it's still tied at 0. Like, every time when we try to have a shot, try to score on the power play, or without the power play, it doesn't work. It's like, come on. We're out shooting the Montreal Canadiens in the first, second, and third period. Not even a single goal was being scored. That's really infuriating, because remember, Last game when the Leafs played against the Tampa Bay Lightning, when Matthew Knies gets a hat trick, Leafs scored like 4 goals, like even the overtime goal, the 1 goal in overtime, but they scored 3 goals. And now we're playing against Montreal, and I see both the Leafs and the Habs have scoring chances, but they couldn't do jack. I mean, yeah, even Nick Suzuki had some last gas, but nope, he just literally just shot it. He didn't shoot in the net. The puck went out the net. So I'm like, yeah, that's hilarious for literally no reason. So we killed that off. We were able to not let the Habs score and put the dagger in our hearts. And we go into overtime. So 60 minutes without a goal. It's tied at 0. 60 minutes, no goals for either team. Well, it looks like we're going to be going to overtime. Nick Suzuki, he thought he had the goal. Like, he was coming in for the break. He was going to score. Oh, nope. Anthony Storlars was dialed. He was like, nope, I'm going to save that goal. Gonna yeet. I'm going to save that. It was highway robbery. And guess who says good night? Mitch Marner. From the defense position every time when the Leafs killed off that penalty in the first to or whatever to scoring the game-winning goal against the Montreal Canadiens. And yes, I know the Leafs won, man, but fuck me, man. This game didn't have to go one way the entire way. No effing way. The game went from we went from having goals again in the Tampa Bay game to literally having to wait the entire 60 minutes plus going to the extra overtime period where the Leafs end up winning against the Montreal Canadiens. And you know, that says about right, because Mitch Marner scoring the game-winning goal, it's just a dream, man. It was a good game. And I have no other words to say about the game, really. It's just only 1-0. PK was dialed in, really, despite being shorthanded on D. Oliver Ekman-Larsson just got he's day to day. He didn't play. Jake McCabe was he was practicing, but he was before the game, not during the game, not during the pre warm-ups or whatever. It was at practice, but he didn't play. So we're down like 5D, man. We're down to 5, and I'm like thinking, yeah, we're cooked. If we don't have 6D in the playoffs, we're gonna be dead by now. We're gonna be history against the Senators. We're gonna be history at this point. But hey, at least we didn't let the Montreal Canadiens clinch a playoff spot in Toronto, or else we were gonna have some serious problems. I'm gonna have some serious problems, really. The game's over for the Leafs. Thank God we won, and that's all I'm gonna say for this team, for the Leafs. Yeah, sure, we didn't have some power play chances. Sure, they had power play chances for Montreal. They had power play chances, but just couldn't convert. Also, before I end the game, this rant, yes, there's gonna be yes, I know this game went an entire 0-0. This game didn't go. No one scored in either the first, second, or third period, and that bugs me because the fact that the goaltender was dialed in, no question about it. But this game went an entire 60 minutes without a goal. 60 minutes without scoring a goal. And then going to overtime and Leafs shut out the Canadiens in overtime and we did the Habs injustice. I mean, remember in 2024 when the Leafs were playing against the Winnipeg Jets? Like, they were first in the Central Division, and then when the Leafs played against the Canadiens, Austin Matthews scored the game-winning goal in overtime. Like, Connor Hellebuyck didn't see the goal. He didn't see the puck. And the game took about, eyewitness, I'm going to say it once, I'll say it again. And that game took an entire 60 minutes to not score a goal. But then going with 1 minute to go in overtime, it took an entire almost 65 minutes to score the game-winning goal. 64 minutes for an overtime goal, and the Leafs win in 1-0 over the Winnipeg Jets, 1-0. And then you go to the game against the LA Kings back in 2020 before it went to the pandemic. The Leafs and the Kings were playing. I understand it was the first game of a back-to-back, and I'm looking at the Leafs and the Kings. They're going back-to-back. I wasn't watching the game. The game went in overtime. Nothing happened. And then, of course, the Kings score in the shootout, and they win 1-0 over the Maple Leafs. And how do you manage to have an entire game scoreless after 60 and then wait, to extras for the decision? Like, what's that about, dude? All right. I think I'm done ranting on the game, on the game being scoreless in the win. I'm happy the Leafs got the win, but this better not happen, being scoreless the entire game. Full 60 minutes, anybody score, just win in regulation, and we'll clinch the Atlantic Division from there. So that's all I'm going to say here for the Leafs. The next game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they take on the Carolina Hurricanes. They go to Raleigh, they play against the Hurricanes at the Lenovo Center, whatever it's called. Lenovo Arena or Lenovo Center, whatever. And they play against the Hurricanes, who just beat the New York Rangers, and the Rangers are no longer in the playoffs. So again, I will take this win any time of the day, but please, this better not be scoreless, or else we're going to be and wait until the extra period to let someone score, or else we're going to have some serious problems. And the last time when the Leafs played against the Hurricanes, yep, I think the Leafs blew a 2-0 lead to the Carolina Hurricanes, and that was in Raleigh. And my voice wasn't at 100% yet, which sucked. But now my voice is finally at 100%. I'm hoping I can do that rant. So that's all I'm going to say. Finally done with this rant. Let's go, Leafs. Yeah!